Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another standard gameplay video, this time featuring a 5-colour domain deck. So domain is a mechanic from a few sets ago that says there's something happens the more basic land types among the lands you control. For example, Herd Migration has domain, create a 3/3 green beast creature token for each basic land type among lands you control. So if you have full domain, you'll create 5 3/3s. If you only have 2, you create 2, and so on and so forth. And Leyline Binding is our other domain card, but it's a 6 mana Fash. This is when it ETBs, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until Leyline Binding leaves the battlefield. But its domain is it costs 1 less to cast each basic land type among lands you control. So if you have full domain, this costs only 1, which is very, very powerful. Our finishers are Atraxa, 7 mana, 7/7, Flying, Vigilant, Death Touch, Lifelink. When ETBs, reveal the top 10 cards of your library for each card type. You may put a card of that type from among the revealed cards into your hand, put the rest at the bottom of your library in a random order. The card types are Artifact, Battle, Creature, Enchantment, Instant, Land, Planeswalker, and Sorcery. So we're probably hitting 4 or 5, and in one game I hit 6, which was every type of card we have in our deck. We don't have any battles. Then we have Zergo and Otatai, a 5 mana 4/4 flying haste, and has hexproof as long as it ETB this turn. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to a player or battle, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. You may return one of those dragons to its owner's hand. So it has hexproof the turn it comes down, and haste, so it's very hard to deal with. And then when it hits in, we look at the top 3 and pick one into a hand. Then we can pick up Zergo to do it next turn if we want. And then we have 1 copy of Niv Mizzet, which is a 5-colour 5/5 flying hexproof for monocoloured. Each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard that's exactly 2 colours has jumpstart, meaning we can play it by discarding a card in addition to paying its other mana cost. Rounding out the deck, we have a lot of removal: Torture Tower, Lightning Helix, counter spell, No More Lies. Agent Cornucopia is a ramp spell, but also once a turn, whenever we cast a spell, it's 1 or more colours, we may gain 1 life for each of that spell's colours. So it works really well with Lightning Helix, because Lightning Helix is 2 colours, so we deal 3 and then essentially gain 5 life, 3 from the Helix, 2 from the Cornucopia, and this effect stacks with the more Cornucopia we have on the battlefield. Then 2 copies of Heaped, Harvest, and Artifact Food when it enters, and when we sacrifice it, we may search the library for a basic land card, put it in the battlefield tap, then shuffle, and because it's a food, we can pay 2 and tap it. And sacrifice it to gain 3 life, and when we sacrifice it again, we do get that ramp. So this is a great way to get some of our missing domain. And then our sweeper of choice is Ill-Timed Explosion. It's a 4 mana sorcery. It says we draw 2 cards, then we may discard 2 cards. When you do, Ill-Timed Explosion deals X damage to each creature, where X is the greatest mana value among cards discarded this way. So if we discard a Lady Binding, for example, that's going to hit for 6. If we're going to discard a Herd Migration, it's for 7, Atraxa 7, and so on and so forth. But it could just be a pay 4, draw 2, and if we have Niv Mizzet, we can cast it from the battlefield from the graveyard as well by discarding a card. Mana base is complicated. Obviously, we have 1 of each basic land. We have a couple of plains, a couple of mountains, because these are the cards we need the most. And then we have a few of the fast lands. These don't have any land type, but then we have Lush Portico and Hedge Maze, which are forest plains and a forest island respectively, and a Fable Passage lets us fetch up our basic lands. So it can be a pretty powerful deck. It's bizarrely, I think, a deck worse the longer the game goes on, because you don't have a huge amount of card draw apart from Ill-Timed Explosion. You can just end up just waiting to draw a finisher, and we do have 5 of them essentially. Well, no, 9 of them with Herd Migration, but the amount of times we just don't draw them, was quite annoying. But yeah, it's a fun deck. I had a great time playing it. I hope you'll enjoy it. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. We are on the draw, but we have Torch the Tower for removal, and obviously Cornucopia can help us gain life. We can Portico, and Surveil. We're okay with that, with some land. think we just... And we play out the Portico again. Survey it again. Herd migration's good. We'll play out the Vantage. Oh, should have played out the Spire Bluff Canal. But oh well. We can leyline bide in whatever creature they play. Or just kill the Kami. Take gain a life. And we will fetch our island so we can hold up No More Lies. One, two, three, four, five. Can't cast Herd Migration yet. We will fetch a mountain, and we don't have full domain, but we do now have 4 3/3s. Oh, that's a big beastie. We will bargain. We will sack one of our... Oh no, we will target a Bristly Bill. And we will sack one of ours, auto-pay the ward, don't need another land. Well, we're going to have to ill-time explosion. We will decline. Before I play the ward. We will hold back for now. Well, that's a pretty interesting combo. Maybe we should take an attribute to the World Tree earlier. That gives us full domain. Well, they scoop it up. Obviously, we have 30 life. And we have 6 3-2. So we have 18 points of damage. They can block 6 of those. So we still have lethal. Them sacking the fish token probably wasn't... Well, I suppose they drew the forest first off. So they had to draw to get the Cammy again. We are on the play. An okay hand. We have some ramp. Don't have... I suppose we would with Ancient Cornucopia. I think we just fire off Torture Tower now. That'll be Fugitive Codebreaker, I assume. Let's get an island. It could be the one that does damage when it turns face up. Yeah, I think we can just... Let's get rid of the Portico and the Atraxa. It was a code breaker. Yeah, there is the Pyrotechnic Viasheen or something. It does damage equal to its power when it's turned face up, or another creature is turned up. Take out their show off. Gain a life. And they scoop. Opponent go first. We can have removal up. And then we can fetch, say, a Plains with Fabled Passage. I'll keep the Cornucopia. Well, it's a strong chance we're getting that back eventually. We have to get a Plains with this then. So we have Lightning Helix on board now. I'll play out the Cornucopia. If we draw an untapped land, we can Lightning Helix and Leyline Binding. Although now with walled on the, I imagine the Deep Cavern Bat, we just Lightning Helix the bat. They're thinking about whether they crack their map. That's not where I would have gone, but I'll keep another Leyline Binding. So we're going to have, if they just level it up, we're going to have to take out the bat before they do. Because at the moment it's only got Ward 1. But now obviously that's got Ward 2. Obviously, if they're playing the Raska build, you know, they're pretty much there. Maybe we can find another Leyline Binding and bind in both their Innkeeper talents. Or if they level up, we just bind in the one they level up to level 3. We are on untapped land away from being able to play Atraxa. Although now they've got 3 talents. We can just keep Leyline Binding for the one they level up. Of course, it's non-land permanent, isn't it? This is just to gain life. So, yes to a Leyline Binding, yes to a Lightning Helix, yes to a Farewell Passage, and yes to a Herd Migration. We can use this to get a Swamp to turn on full domain. Obviously we won't block. Well, let's... We can surveil. I'll say yes to another herd migration. We'll gain the life. Then on their turn, we can bind in again one of the Innkeeper's talents before we go to combat. And then we can, well, probably don't even need to block the college, which will be could be a 10-10. And then, yeah, we swing in for 22. Well, this is in a keepable hand. This is better, and we've got to put back Niv. Sure. Can hold up Torturous Hour and maybe herd migration. That's annoying. Let's get a swamp. And we'll get down the harvest and get a mountain. Let's get a plains. We've almost got full domain, and we can get full domain with Fabled Passage. And then we can leyline bind in the talent. That was a waste of their upgrade. Well, let's get a mountain then with this. Play out the Cornucopia. We can play out the Cornucopia again. And then we'll just leyline bind in their talent. Oh, they're not a self-mill deck. Well, that's Cornucopia for the third time. doesn't really matter what we get. We'll get a forest. I would quite like an Atraxa. They have milled one of our Zergos. Or at least like an ill-timed explosion. Oh, there's Atraxa. I hope they don't have another Sunfall. We will take another Atraxa, a Leyline Binding, a Heap Harvest, an ill-timed explosion. Do you want no more lies? Or let's do no more lies. And then, yeah, let's just do a Portico. Sure. I'm going to get rid of their Scavenger's Talent. And hold up no more lies. If they have another Sunfall, obviously they won't be able to pay it. I mean, they knew we had no more lies, so it's a bit odd that they went for the collect evidence as well. On the draw, I think I might have to get a Island turn 1 Fable Passage for Lightning Helix for no more lies. And the island and the plains obviously reduce the cost of Leyline Binding. Our opponent has mulliganed. They are on Demir. I want to mine a Surveil land. That's not a Surveil land. Do I just get a forest now for use with Herd Might so we can discard Herd Migration? I think that is the plan. And then we can get an island with Herd Migration. The fact they auto-tapped is always a bit concerning. Annoyingly, we get Surveil land, which has exactly the same basic land types we have. I'm going to hold up no more lies. Well, I'll use a Leyline Binding. Since we do have another one. Sure. that's 3 render inerts. I imagine they're trying to render a battle. Well, they've used that to draw a card. Fair enough. Well, we'll play out the... And obviously we can hold up No More Lies and Lightning Helix. And then Nivs. A pretty good closer. Leyline Binding is non-land, so we can't use it to take out the reef. So, I think I just have to keep on holding up No More Lies. We can cycle herd migration again. Because obviously they're a reanimator deck. They didn't activate their Restless Reef again. And we will get a mountain. Gain 10. And obviously we still have No More Lies available then by discarding maybe a Leyline Binding. Depending on what they do. Niv also has protection from monocoloured, so it can chump the Demon or the Vein Ripper. So we can't really deal with the Vein Ripper because its ward is sacrifice creature, and we don't generally have a huge amount of creatures. Well, let's attack with Niv. We don't quite have full domain. I'm going to draw 2. I won't discard. No. Don't need more land. And I will discard a land to draw 2 more. Obviously in Infamous it also like protections from things like Go for the Throat. Which also makes it very hard to deal with for black decks. We did go shields down. Well, we can... yeah, might as well. And then we just Leyline Bind in their Harvester. So we do have lethal. But we know they obviously have sweepers. With Terror Tide and Harvester of Misery. Well, Harvester of Misery won't kill our beasties. That will, though. I think... I think they've only seen 2. Well, that's a 3rd. We'll do this to gain life in our turn. And obviously we can do the same in their turn. I really like Zergo and Ojutai, Atraxa. You know, things to actually that can actually help see out the game. Well, we will definitely cast this. Well, we won't discard. Don't need more land. Come on, deck. Whale of the Forgotten. Problem, they have so much mana now. Even double casting, no more lies. We're halfway through our deck. Well, there's nothing in those... Well, an ill-timed explosion would have been good. They're down to 12. Zergon Ojutai just wins it. I'm starting to question whether that's actually in our deck. Because I don't think I've actually drawn it once. It doesn't help that our opponent's playing very slowly as well. I imagine they're going to start milling me. Zergon Ojutai wins. And I don't think it's been milled. Because he has hexproof for turn it comes down. This is not a tough choice. Opponent. There we go. There's a Atraxa. Still no Zergon Ojutai. One Atraxa's down there. We're down to 18, they're down to 11. They can turn their invasion into a Atraxa, which can block as Ergo. So that's probably game over. Wow. They can just recast 2 spells. Do any of them mill? Although it's bounce ley lines. Doesn't do a huge amount because we can just replay them. Oh, obviously it does make a difference because it causes us then to discard a card. This is not a hard choice. Apparently it is. I'm really starting to question if I actually put Zergo Ojtai in my deck, or if I'm just going insane and imagining it. I think our opponent may have milled themselves out. They can hit us for a decent amount. But that's not going to be enough. I need to mill us out, basically. All the manual taps. I mean, I don't think they can do 43 to me in one turn. Unless they can mill... They can mill 8. There's Zergo! There's the other one. Do they have something that can mill me for 1? They do not.